What's up, everyone? It's your boy Mastermind here for Ohio Cannabis Live. Welcome back to another episode, another live stream. I stream live every Friday at 4:20 p.m. on the dot, maybe 4:21 sometimes. Thank you all for being here today. Give me just a moment to gather our comments here. If you're new to my content, please do me a favor and go ahead and hit the like, subscribe button now. If you're a repeat viewer, thank you for coming back. We've got a special guest today. I'll be revealing who that is momentarily. So I'm just getting all everything working. What's up, Captain Green Toker? What's up, Lynette? Welcome back. All right, so today we're going to talk about a couple different things. We're going to talk about the lawmakers want to lower the home grow count. They want to lower the THC potency or make it to where medical patients will basically have to buy recreational. Yeah, I said it. You might have to buy recreational. Also, I've got a special guest here. I got my good friend here, Josh Crosier of Appalachian Girls Cannabis. He's going to help us learn a little bit about Senate Bill 326, their attempt to restrict various parts of the hemp industry, help educate us in that particular area. Also to react to this new effort to basically ban cannabis again, make it illegal again in various ways by butchering up the Issue 2 law and trying to take away what the people voted for. And, you know, we're trying to raise awareness about this. And I look forward to having you hear from a good friend here, Josh, here, which will be here with us in just a moment here. Can you hear me okay, Josh? Okay, yes, he can hear me great. That's perfect. That's all I needed to know. All right, so, you know, this is another Friday. I repeat, I am not in the hospital, and I just want to make sure you all know that I am not in the hospital. I'm in the kitchen again. This is really the kitchen. It's not a background. So yes, I am at my house. Thank you for all the prayer support that you've given me. I do want to let you know a little bit about what's happened to me in the last 7 days, real quick, before we get into today's show. So, if you didn't know this, I have chronic pancreatitis, and I've been fighting this. I've been aware that I've had chronic pancreatitis since last year. And I know there's not a lot of information about this, and not a lot of people really understand what that means when I say that. But just understand that your pancreas is a part of your digestive system. It's an important part of your digestive system. For me, I don't have a gallbladder, so the pancreas is even more important because the gallbladder is also another part of your digestive system. And when you are experiencing severe pain like I'm experiencing, it requires a lot of good cannabis to be able to stop the pain. And sometimes, you know, I wish that I had grew the specific strains that are going to stop my specific pain, but I didn't. I started out with some stuff that I would consider to be my practice strains. And I'm now growing a strain I know helps me with my pain. And I'm going to share that journey about layer cake and Mastermind's layer cake with you all as it grows up, unless it dies. And then we'll have a funeral for we'll have a funeral for her. But there are two ladies growing. There are two little girls growing right now. And I'm thinking about starting a couple more little girls. And, you know, pretty soon I'll have my good friend app girls in here talking all about those girls. You like how I rolled into that, didn't you? All right. So what I do want to know is I want to make sure that my comments are working. So everybody just right now, let me know what you're medicating on. If you are medicating right now, if you are consuming right now, which is fucking on. Nah, it's like so technical. Yeah, so during that time when I was doing this last hospital stint. I got a nerve block, a celiac plexus nerve block, and this block is about blocking the pain in your abdomen, your stomach, and blocking pain around your pancreas. And they did not want to do this procedure. Okay, gotcha. Copy that, Lynette. I gotta be quiet there. She's at the doctor. I hope I'm in your earbuds. If I'm in your earbuds, turn me up. No, I just wanted to say that. But anyway, hope your roommate's doing okay, Lynette. Lynette is one of our longtime supporters and moderators on the channel. Lynette has been here for a long time. I also want to shout out to my good friend Jimmy, who made sure I made it to my MRI, because I had to go all the way to Cleveland just to get an MRI about this pancreas thing. When I say this is the most craziest thing, it's crazy. And while I'm in the hospital and getting in the hospital, getting out the hospital, I keep getting these messages about these efforts to change the law. So I want to let you know there are two things happening right now. There are attempts to change the laws. Okay? Laws are changed by legislators and people in the House and the Senate. Once the House and the Senate come together with a piece of legislation that they agree on, then it can get presented to DeWine as one unified document that's created from the House and the Senate. It's the same way that the federal government makes laws as well. Biden does not make laws. Congress makes laws. Biden signs them in, or the president, whoever the president will be, is the one who signs the law. So people get this all mixed up, thinking these presidents are going to make the laws. They're not. Congress. So you have to stay on top of your Congress to get things done right. So again, like I said, there's two efforts happening now. Laws being changed by the Ohio Congress. That's the House and the Senate. Later signed in law by the governor, DeWine, in this situation. Then we have rule changes. Rule changes are not laws. They're rules. So another mastermind hit, that's the name of my company. I have certain rules, certain guidelines that I go by. My handbook, basically. It's my company. Same thing. The state, they want to make their own rules. The Division of Cannabis Control would like to make their own rules. Not laws, rules. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because you, an Ohio consumer, if you're from Ohio, have an opportunity to provide input on these new rule changes. And I'm telling you to go to my website and read the most recent blog post I published, maybe the second one. And it has a link in there. It has all the rule changes that they're proposing for pre-rolls, for concentrates, etc. I'm not going to get too deep into it because then that will just have an effect on our video, and that's not my intention. But I do want you to read through it. And in that same post, what I also did was I gave you the email addresses so that you can send in your comments about how you feel about these laws. So I'm not just sitting up here talking to you about it. I'm not just sitting up here to waste your time going on and on about it. I'm telling you that I have left a way on my website for you to take action. And that's what you need to be planning on doing before the holidays. I want you to send these emails to them before the holiday season is over. Again, there's a link in there. You can read the full rules package. Remember, this is the rules that they're going to put in place for recreational. And we could dive into it if you want. But again, I think the most important thing you want to hear out of all of it is that they want everything restricted to 1 gram. So that means that they will only have 1 gram pre-rolls, 1 gram concentrates, 1 gram vape cartridges. Where there are products that exist that are over 1 gram. Those products would no longer exist in our market. So for those people who are used to getting products that are over 1 gram and getting a bargain deal or something like that, this could affect you. Another thing that they want to do is they want to make it to where medical patients who want higher potency vape cartridges, for example, will have to purchase them as a rec customer because medical vape cartridges will be capped in the 70 percentile, 77% range, meaning that medical patients will be sold vape cartridges that are lower THC than a recreational consumer who's being sold a vape cartridge at a higher potency. Guess what? Higher is going to beat out lower any day, right? I want the higher. Give me the highest you got. So that means all those lower potency products are pretty much going to go away. Therefore, there won't be any medical products for you to purchase because they'll all be in that higher potency range, which should be for medical patients. So this is a completely backwards approach. And as consumers in this market, whether you are new and you just got into it as a recreational consumer or you're still interested in remaining a medical cannabis patient, it's up to you to take the time to respond to this inquiry, because I cannot do it for you. And this is much better than trying to go get in your car and drive down to the State House. Just send an email. I can't make it no easier for you. Send the email. If you need help, and you need me to help you come up with the email, then all you got to do is then email me at info@ohiocannabislive.com, and I will help you write your response. So you still just got to send the email. So this is another important thing. Having public participation, having public comment about these issues that are relevant to not just me, not just one region of Ohio, but everyone in the state. Everyone. And this is your opportunity to zero in on these new changes. Some of them are okay. They're going to have inhalers, for example. I'm looking forward to seeing how that works. But there are other things that we should speak out on. So going back to what my good buddy Josh Crosier is going to talk a little bit about, which is Senate Bill 326. This is a new piece of legislation. This is something new since the election for them to basically ban various hemp products, THCA and Delta 8 products to be more specific. But this law will also have a negative impact on the hemp industry as a whole. And that's why I brought Josh on here to help kind of explain that. Because, again, it gets very confusing when you start talking about CBD weed, THC weed, dispensary weed. You know, it's all still weed. Let's just say that together. It's all still weed. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bring on my good friend Josh here. And we go talk a little bit about this a little bit more detail. All right. Hey, buddy, can you hear me?
I sure can. Thanks for having me, Mr.
Let me get
Riley.
my audio together. Hold on, man. I just not realized I ain't going to be able to hear you unless I'm in here. So, all right. Can you hear me, buddy?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Great. Yes. All right.
Awesome.
So, thanks for coming on the show. And the first thing I want to do is just give you an opportunity. Oh, thank you. Sorry for the delay. I'm just glad to have you here. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to tell everybody a little bit about you and what you do. So, go ahead and let them know.
Well, I'm in the hemp space right now. My name's Josh Crosier. I do a little private thing for Ohio home growers where I help walk people through the steps of their first home grow. That's under Soiled Obsessions. That's my work there. But my most important work and relevant to this task here is Appalachian Girls Cannabis Company. So we're soil grown, high CBD, low THC, true hemp here in Athens, Ohio. We have a history, you know, growing in megs in Athens here, which obviously I've been a participant in for a few decades, but now we had the opportunity to bring our cannabis skills to the market, and hemp was the space that we were able to get in. So I'm here right now, just tickled to death to be having this conversation. Thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, no problem, man. It's good to have you here. And I just want to get your reaction, first off, to this kind of word or being put out here that they want to basically undo various parts of law, like reduce the home grow, lower THC. What have you been hearing about?
Well, I've been hearing a lot, right? But I've been really focused. I've had a one-track mind lately. Obviously, as you mentioned, some of these other things going on right now, roles regarding cannabis. And by the way, that's why I like hanging out with you, because you always bring something to the table that I'm not even, that has not been on my radar since this Senate Bill 326 has come out. I've been on a one-track mind to, like, how can we stop this language in the way that it's in? So I just testified twice at the State House over the last 2 weeks. And my brain has just been on that nonstop. So now I'm just finally starting to work my flow back out into the other parts of cannabis. But that bill in particular would not only put us out as a hemp farm, we bring our products from seed to sale, right? So what that means is we grow the cannabis, we process the cannabis, and we sell the cannabis. We're just a small company trying to make something happen. And we're going to be out of business, but every other hemp farmer in the state of Ohio is going to be out of business. So the Senate Bill 326 is really not taking into consideration, how cannabis actually works. It's a shame. The whole thing is it's an attack against Delta 8 and some of the incidents that have occurred around the Delta 8 products, right? There's been kids going to emergency rooms across the country. I do not relate this to the Delta 8 molecule, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with the Delta 8 molecule. It grows on cannabis plants naturally in very small amounts. The issue with Delta 8 products is it's a conversion of CBD into Delta 8 THC. So that Delta 8 was not naturally occurring on the plant. So during this process of making the Delta 8 under unregulated conditions, they basically have chemistry that's involved that I think is the true issue of what's sending people to the ERs across the country, because I've never heard of cannabis really having that. There's a baby that passed away, and God, my heart goes out to that baby and that mother. But there was an incident where a baby passed away, 4 years old, after ingesting Delta 8 products. And they've really tried to pinpoint that on cannabis, when in fact I feel there's no relation to that in cannabis, other than it was on an unregulated product that claimed to be from the cannabis plant, but certainly wasn't made under the same type of conditions that you would expect our medical dispensaries to produce weed. So as the government tries to attack this Delta 8 product industry, once again, not the Delta 8 molecule, that's the enemy here. It's these products. They've created this emergency ban that is so ridiculous. It incorporates all of hemp, intoxicating and not intoxicating. So, that's just what my brain's been on. Sorry to get all serious. It's just a one-track mind to how ridiculous this is.
All right,
For us.
Robert Rittenhouse says clearly the parents are the issue. If kids are getting a hold of it, just like liquor in the cabinet.
It's true. I mean, like, you can't blame cannabis for bad parenting.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, there has to be accountability. Hey, Mama Mastermind. That's my mom. Shout out to Mom.
Shout out.
So, for people who are just watching this and watching our show every week, and go to the corner store and see THCA products or these pre-rolls or the infused joints or whatever, uh, do you think companies that are not really cannabis-led companies should be selling these products, like gas stations, bodegas, corner stores?
I don't see a problem with that personally. Um, now when they're selling 1,000 milligram packages, maybe that should be reserved to the dispensaries. But THCA is a different dilemma than the Delta. Like this is like a whole debacle of things going on here. The Delta 8 products are one reason they're attacking the hemp industry. The THCA is the other reason. And I wouldn't necessarily call THCA a problem, other than us hemp farmers in Ohio cannot contribute to that, right? So, because Ohio has total THC laws, as you know, Anthony, but I'll just explain here for your audience. Those laws add up all the THC and into one column. Whereas other states, you can grow high levels of THCA under their hemp program and ship them into the state. This supports an unfair advantage for Ohio's agricultural system, especially the hemp farmers that are trying to get off the ground, utilize their skills, legitimize their skills. It just creates a huge dilemma for that, because now there's tons of product being sold in all over the state that our agricultural system can't participate in, which means you can't have seed to sale businesses, which means you're always relying on buying hemp from outside of the state and then selling it inside of the state. My background is in sustainable agriculture, so of course I'm not supportive of this type of hold on Ohio's agricultural system.
Well,
It,
what
it
about
makes
age limit? Do you agree there should be an age limit?
I do. For intoxication, yes. Now for hemp that was truly grown at 0.3%, that's part of this Senate Bill 326. And the whole issue with it is, even though we already grew product below 0.3%, and it's still compliant under the what they propose, but now they put a milligram cap on it. And I think that milligram cap is really what needs to be regulated from an age perspective. So, I consider our CBD hemp at 5% CBD and 0.3% THC to be non-intoxicating. Even if you bought a half an ounce of it, it's not intoxicating. And I do believe that an 18-year-old should be able, if you can go die for your country, you surely should be able to smoke a non-intoxicating hemp flower. Now the high THC stuff, I still feel the same age. I think once you hit 18, they should be able to have access to that before alcohol. I certainly think that when you compare the two together, it's a no-brainer. But yeah, as far as having an age restriction, I do think I would like to know that my daughter waited, or doesn't have access to alcohol or high THC cannabis until she's of a certain age, or until I provide that for her. What about you, Anthony? What do you think about the age restrictions?
Well, two things. I think that the state owes the residents of Ohio some type of public education about cannabis, hemp, CBD, all of it. And there should be very clear explanation from a public service government standpoint, not just whoever, wherever. And I would like to start that. and be the first public cannabis public servicer for Ohio to kind of help people understand what the differences are. Because every time it comes up, people were really not sure, especially at the corner store or the gas station or DoorDash, what they're actually buying. They think they're buying something. It says 100 milligram, but 0.03. So it's very confusing for the consumer to understand why I should be going and buying a product at a dispensary versus buying it at the corner store. And I think, as long as this program has been going on with the medical program, now everybody's really just confused. And then if they're not confused, they're just going to go to Michigan. And, we should not promote out-of-state commerce. We should be getting people to support local. And this goes back to hemp, agriculture. And if we don't keep this going, there won't be hemp, won't be agriculture. People will just be buying everything from out of state. And it's just not just cannabis, but other products as well. And I think we have to start thinking about like that. Like, why isn't our roads getting fixed faster? Where is that money from the adult use sales tax? I don't see any of it going back into the community. I don't see anything happen. All I'm seeing is these little changes they're trying to push through, but it's not nothing for the people. So we have to keep asking the same question. How do these changes to the law really benefit the people? Especially these ones about the hemp. If they don't even have common sense written into it, then why should we support it? And then we don't even have a real simplified way for people to voice their concern. Now, there is a way to do the rule comments, and they have a process. But for the Senate committee, like the one you testified in, if you don't know how to do it a certain way, you got to fill out a certain form, right, Josh? And you have to know exactly what you're doing when you send in testimony to Senate. You can't just say whatever you want, because it's going to be played out and put into a record with your name attached. So if you just get on there and start saying all kind of ranting and raving, and they go put your, first of all, they're not even going to accept it. So that's another thing. With the comment, you send an email. I think you still should really tailor down whatever you say to 2 or 3 main points. And if you feel like THC, CBD, they should just leave the stuff alone and just keep things the way they are, then you should be voicing them. Don't just sit back, because next thing you know, they'll be cutting everything. And I do mean everything, including homegrow, including how much can be in a joint. Already telling you they want to make it 1 gram joints only. Come on now, you want to smoke a 2 gram joint. Come on. So, again, I think that there's going to be more streams with more guests on the show. This whole thing is going to get bigger. Next thing you know, we'll be like CNN. No, not like CNN. We're the Cannabis News Media. CNN. Yeah. So anyway, if you're still new to this content, please like, subscribe. Go to Instagram and follow my guy here, Josh, under Soda Session and App Girls. Is it App Girls or Application Girls?
Well, it's Appalachian Girls Cannabis Company, but for Instagram, it's under App Girls Cannabis. And like you said, Anthony, you nailed it in the intro, but everybody kind of asks why we name ourselves Appalachian Girls Cannabis. There's multiple reasons for that. We do have a female co-founder. She's unbelievable. However, that is not why we named ourselves App Girls Cannabis. It's because our favorite portions of the plant that we love and adore the most is the female type of cannabis plant, the flowers or the buds. So that's where that name came from. And we just wanted to represent our people down here in Appalachia, where, as I'm sure your audience is probably aware, we've been exploited down here for a really long time. I won't get into it because I go on rants, but between the DuPonts and the Sackler family and the Pfizers and the Oxycontins that they've flooded us with, we just wanted to kind of represent the misrepresented and find a way for our history to be retained here. We've been putting in work in this cannabis game for a really, really long time. The history goes deep down here in Meigs and Athens, and so we just wanted to make sure that we were connecting with that, because nobody's really, uh, overly caring about our regions, despite the fact that down here is one of the most impoverished counties in the state, but people typically don't think of it. They're not thinking Athens and how, and the ruins that some of this part of the county is an area is in, but that's our home, and we want to make it a nicer place. So we just wanted to make sure we were representing that. Oh, and yeah, so follow me on Instagram, @girlscannabis, soiled underscore sessions underscore. And if you're interested, maybe some of your audience, if you are interested in knowing more about our stance on the Senate Bill 326, we did release both me and my partner Joey Elwood's testimonies on our YouTube page at Girls Cannabis. So if you're interested in hearing about it, go over there, watch our testimonies, and give us some feedback before we go testify again, because you better believe as soon as they have another hearing, I'm going to get out the same suit, the only suit I have, and put it on for a third time and a fourth time, and we're going to go up there and try to make something happen, because it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I know it's a lot of the process. That's why I feel like every week I have to keep kind of going over a few of the different things. And something else I wanted to go over with you, this is still being updated, but there are 145 dispensaries in Ohio, and most of them are authorized to sell recreational. But at the same time, there are a lot of other businesses that sell other things related to the cannabis. So this is like head shops, glass shops, hemp shops, and there's a lot of other products out there. So I think you should still remember to still support local. Now today I had a little audio issue, so it's kind of making me talk weird because I'm hearing myself in my ear. It's driving me crazy. It's not like having a speaker playing back and hearing yourself talk. It's like in your ear, like almost delay, and it's nerve-wracking. But I thank you again, Josh, for coming.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Absolutely,
this has been an honor. And kid, let's stay in touch. I know me and you got some good work to do together. So,
all right. Well, let's stand by. We'll be talking here in just a minute. All right. So again, I thank all of y'all for coming on today's stream. We're gonna do this every Friday at 4:20, but I'm gonna try to get some more streams in there, and I'm also working in streaming live to Instagram and YouTube. As soon as I figure out what's wrong with my audio and get my mics working again, I'll be much better prepared than I am today. But again, I thank all of y'all for being here on today's stream. Make sure you follow me on social media, hit that like and subscribe button, share the video with your friends, and I'm going to see all of y'all on the next stream, all right? Thank y'all for being here. God bless y'all. Have a good weekend.